guys, welcome to Beard's Eye View, and this is going to be my spoiler-free review for Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's no spoilers here, it's going to be completely spoiler-free on this video. I will be doing a spoiler talk video at some point, probably later on in the week, so make sure you check it out when it comes up. Ant-Man and the Wasp, another Marvel movie, last one for this year. We don't get anything until Captain Marvel now next year. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a fun kind of comedy action type thing. There was a lot of heart in there at some point as well. There was a few negatives. It wasn't like a perfect film, and it is a lot of effort and it is very difficult. It's an uphill battle when you're coming off Infinity War the way you are. Obviously, trailers and everything has shown this. It follows the exploits of Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne, and obviously Hank Pym as well. After the events kind of pretty much of Civil War, he's under house arrest because of that, and he can't go anywhere. This has caused problems for them as well, and the whole thing ensues. You see in the trailers this character called Ghost that gets out of the quantum realm or something along those lines, and basically the whole thing ensues. They're trying to stop a certain thing. Obviously I can't go into spoilers here, but there is a main focus of they're trying to do something, and the Ghost is trying to stop them from doing it and use it to her own advantage. You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I suppose it's a good thread. I suppose it's not perfect, but it's a good thread to kind of tie them together. It keeps it small and keeps it simple. And yeah, I mean it worked. Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, I mean he's perfect, isn't he? I mean he's such a cool comedian, he's such a cool dude, he's hilarious, it's a lot of fun, there's a lot of comedy moments in this, and he nails pretty much all of them. There was never a time I didn't feel like a joke didn't land. I think they balanced it reasonably well in this. So, like Thor Ragnarok, for instance, there was a lot of jokes in that, and most of them did land, but there was a couple of them I thought maybe you didn't need to put that in there. But all the jokes that worked in here, it kind of worked with the tone of the film, and yeah, I enjoyed it. One quick thing I will say as well, I think the Ant-Man and the Wasp, the chemistry between those two was really well done. They built on their relationship, and how annoyed she is with him for certain, obviously the reasons we've already outlined, but they still care for each other, and they build that really quite well through this film. As far as special effects and all that kind of stuff goes, awesome, really enjoyed it. I really felt the small ratio and the massive ratio whenever they did that up and down type stuff. In the quantum realm as well, because it's obviously well documented that this is in the film. Beautiful, really well done. The colour palette was really interesting. The things they were doing in there, it was really like psychedelic and trippy. And yeah, they embellished it a lot more in this. And yeah, it was very, very interesting. As the title suggests, we get so much more of the Wasp in this. You've seen in trailers, the action scenes in this were awesome. A lot of it is Wasp based as well. I do love all the different things they've done with the sides, the up and the down throughout this movie. You've seen a few in the trailers again. But yeah, it's awesome. All the stuff that they've used, you know, when they use a Pez dispenser and all that kind of stuff, that's awesome. The massive salt shaker, you see how big he can grow, and you know, it fits into the narrative of the film. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun using that kind of mechanic and that science of that shrinking technology. It's just a lot of fun to watch. Lawrence Fishburne's character, the guy called Bill, I can't remember the last name now, but it's Bill. It seems like he used to work with Hank Pym, and now he doesn't. They don't really like each other, but they do and they don't. And yeah, he's actually a little bit more involved than I thought he would be. I thought he'd be like a small part, but he's involved a lot more. There were some things that happened with him that I didn't expect to happen with him, but yeah, I mean it worked. You know, Lawrence Fishburne's a cool character, he's a cool actor, and yeah, I mean it worked. I wanted maybe a little bit more out of him, considering what you saw in the trailers when he says about working on a project called Goliath. Obviously it's Giant Man, this kind of stuff. That I thought maybe there'd be a little bit more out of him, but you know, maybe we'll get more out of him in the future. Michael Pena, I mean he's hilarious, brilliant. Again, same as what he did with Ant-Man, in this he's absolutely hilarious. We do, as well, this isn't really a spoiler, but we do get a monologue scene again, like he's done a couple of times in the Ant-Man movie. He does do it again in this, and it is amazing. It is so hilarious. Michelle Pfeiffer playing Janet Van Dyne. She's playing Hope's mum. She's not in it a lot. I'd say she's in it pretty much in the third act. But you know what she does great, and you know, it's fun. Again, it's the same thing as when you see Michael Douglas as Hank Pym for the first time. It's that it has the same kind of feel where you're seeing this amazing, really well-known actor playing a role in this comic book movie, and it's cool to see. It's a lot of fun to see him in these roles. One thing I think they absolutely nailed is the relationship between Janet and Hank. It solidifies how in love they were and how perfect they were together. And there's a couple of moments in this film where they just make it obvious about how much they love each other, and it is really touching. The character of Ghost, the bad guy, I can't remember the actress that plays her, but she was cool. The powers were cool, and what she could do, she kind of phase in and out of certain things, and it's quite interesting. However, I wouldn't say she's one of the most well-developed villains. It worked for the narrative of the film, but I would kind of say that she's a little bit kind of forgettable to a point. So, I mean, we'll see where they potentially go with her in the future. I don't know what they're going to do with her, but yeah, it's just a little bit forgetful, really. It was a cool character, but not amazing. And again, it's coming off Thanos. How can you beat Thanos? You know what I mean? It's difficult to take it up to that level, and I know we shouldn't be basing this on what we've seen previous, but it is very difficult when Infinity War is one of the biggest movies of all time. Negatives, I don't know. I suppose there was a couple of times it was lagging a tiny bit in places, but it wasn't immensely, you know what I mean? It wasn't going, God, I am getting bored. You know, you're sitting there going, alright, and then it happens, you know what I mean? It kind of is a couple of times that happens. And I suppose as well, it ends quite abruptly. I was they were in the third act, and I was expecting this final big moment, and then it kind of doesn't really happen. It kind of just tails off, everything's kind of ended, and it just stops very abruptly. End credit scene as well. Obviously, I'm not going to be spoiling it. You'll have to check out my spoiler review when it comes out. But there are two, so make sure you stay to the end of the other one. Although the one at the end's not really that important. It's the mid-credit scene, it's the important one. And when you watch it, oh god, I mean, wow. Oh, that sucks. I mean, I will explain it in the spoiler review, but oh my god, for anybody that knows. Oh. Overall, guys, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a really fun, entertaining and funny second outing for Ant-Man and obviously the Wasp this time. It isn't a perfect movie. It has its flaws here and there. It does end quite abruptly, and it is difficult to come off Infinity War into a film like this. It isn't a world breaker, but in no means is it a really bad film. I think it's somewhere sitting in the middle somewhere. So I would give it a high 3 stars. So that's my spoiler-free review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments or send me an email. You can also find me in the various social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Tumblr. Just type in Beards Eye View anyway and I'm sure you'll find me. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share my videos. I'll see you soon.